This is the tutorial for exercise 12D in your beginning AutoCAD workbook. Okay, in exercise 12D, you're going to create the front and top view of this lamp base. The little isometric view in the corner is just to help you picture the object. So we're going to be using, it says offsets, properties, you could use mirror. I'm going to show you how I would create this exercise. There's lots of different ways to do it, so as long as you get it to look properly in the end, whichever way you get there is fine, but I'm going to show you how I would do it. Okay, I'm going to I'm going to do the top view first to make my life a little bit easier. So I'm just going to throw in a center line. We don't know where it's supposed to be. Okay, I'm going to go to my object layer. So I'm going to create my circles first. So my inner center circle has a diameter of 0.87. Okay, and if I have my quick properties on, I could look at that. My diameter, yeah, it's correct, so I can keep going. I'm going to turn that off because I don't want it. Okay, the next circle in the center has a diameter of 1.785. Okay, now there's two small circles, one on the left and one on the right. The inner ones have a diameter of 0.652. And they're a distance of 1.750 from the center. So I'm going to do offset 1.750. Okay, so that's where the center of my first small circle is going to be. Intersection where those meet. Okay, and we said it was 0.652. Oh, I want diameter. I didn't have my diameter setting on, did I? Yeah, I did. Okay, sorry. Just looked small. Okay, and then the circle outside of that has a diameter of 1.052. Okay, then I have arcs at the very end, and they have a radius of 0.875. So to get those, I'm going to do center radius. I'm going to use the center of the existing circle, and my radius is going to be 1.750. Oh, sorry. Sorry. My radius is going to be 0.875. I was reading the wrong box. Radius 0.8. Okay. Now I need a top and a bottom line. I'm going to turn on my quadrant, make sure quadrant's turned on. And I'm going to go from there over here someplace. From there over here someplace. Okay, now I'm going to do a little bit of trimming. Okay, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want that, that, mirror that. Okay, so I have half my part drawn. And I have a problem with it. I have one of my circles is wrong. So let's check. So my radius is 0.892. I don't want my radius to be 0.892. I want it to be half. I want it to be half of 1.75. So 0.875. That's what's wrong. 875. Okay, there. Okay, and I'm just going to clean that up a little bit. So trim. And trim. Okay, everything's touching how it should, and it's still nice and tangent. Okay, so I'm going to use mirror. I'll go from there to there, enter. Okay, so we have our top view drawn. Our bottom view, or front view, sorry, we don't have very many dimensions on it, but we do know, I'm just going to mirror this center line across too for the other circle, but we do know that everything on the top view lines up on the bottom view. So I'm going to do the outer base first. So I know that the length of it has to be the same as the length on the top view. So I'm just going to go from my quadrants. I want quadrant. I'm just going to make sure this one was okay. I saw it had grabbed midpoint, but it's okay. It got quadrant anyway. Okay, so I need a line across the bottom for the bottom of my base. And then I know that the base thickness gives us 0.422. So I'm going to do offset, 0.422. Okay, and I'm going to trim that, tidy it up. Okay, so I have that part of my base done. To get the little bump on the top of it, I know the height of it is 1.056. So I'm going to offset 1.056. Okay, and I know that it matches this piece on the top. So quadrants again. And to make life easier, I'm going to turn quadrant on in here. Okay, it is. Okay, so that's going to be the little bump on the top of the base. Okay. All right, now we need a cutout in that. It has a center line, and it shows us 2 dimensions. It says from the center line to the edge of the part is 0.233. So let's do that. Let's offset 0.233. I'm going to take my center line, and I'm going to offset it to the right and to the left. And I know that the cutout from the top is 0.731 deep, so offset 0.731. Okay, so let's get that trimmed and cleaned up. A lot of extra lines that we do not need. We're going to keep that part for now. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of that. we are going to get rid of this, and we're going to get rid of this one. Okay. Actually, I'm going to get rid of these. Okay. We'll do our hidden line separately. Okay, so that's our cutout. Let's look at the ends of this base. They show hidden lines, and those are for the cutouts that are shown on the top view. So let's go to our hidden lines. I'm going to turn off some of these that I don't want right now, because all I want really is quadrant. So I'm going to go from the center of that, and I'm going to just pull them all down further. I'll trim them later on. Make sure it picks my quadrant point. So I'm going to do 4 lines on the quadrants of those 2 circles. Okay, so let's look at this. So it shows that the counter bore, the part that's down, has a depth of 0.244. So let's do offset 0.244. Take this and offset it down. Okay, so right now it looks like mass, but we're going to trim, and in a minute you will see your counter bore show up here. And you just have to pay attention to what you're trimming. Okay, so there's a counter bore, and I'm not going to go through all of that and draw another one on the other end. I'm just going to use my mirror command. Okay, and now we need a couple of hidden lines in the very center of the part. So we know when we look at that, if you're not quite sure, you can take something and, line up to where you want it to be. So line, I'm going to come down here. Same thing again over here. Oops. Okay. So trim. So this hidden line goes all the way through the base from the top to the bottom of it. And I just need to show the depth of that. Offset 0.731. Here. And there. And one last little trim feature. Get rid of these. Okay, so let's scroll out and take a look. 1, 2, 1, 2. Turn on my line thickness just so you can see it. Well, that doesn't help. Never mind. Okay, so that is everything. Oh, no, it's not. I forgot our lines on the top view. Center circle. Okay, the center circle on the top is the same as the one on the bottom. So our cutout down here. So let's go object line. Line, and I'm just going to trim these out afterwards. For now, I'm just going to extend them, and I'll trim later. Okay, so now trim. I'm going to pick a circle. You guys don't have to do this step on yours because you're using the newer version, but you will now have to trim these off, and make sure when you're trimming them that it's not cutting it off at the top line, that it's actually getting the little bit between the circle and the part. And I want the middle of it gone. Okay, so now I'm going to use copy. I'm going to pick those 4 little lines. I'm going to specify a base point. Rotate, rotate. Not copy, rotate. Specify my base point again. I'm going to come down to my command line and click copy because I don't want to erase the originals. I'm going to type in my angle, 90 degrees. There. That looks better. Okay, so that is everything for exercise 12D. That's the end of the tutorial for exercise 12D.